So I have all my pattern pieces cut out. I still have the paper on them. I was going to mention about the markings. Don't worry about the markings. We can put them on after because you are actually going to stitch over everything anyway. What we'll do after, keep your pattern pieces in an envelope close by. So at the end of all your stitching, we're going to get out these pattern pieces and mark all these little markings. So don't worry about them right now. So I have all mine cut out here. And one thing I wanted to do before I started putting my collage on this bear is, because my bear is going to be sort of a memory bear, I'm going to be using fabric from my mom's fabric, my aunt, some of my own fabric, and I also have fabric from my great-grandmother, Effie Owens. And I got to show you. This is a quilt that my great-grandmother started, and I have a video on this quilt. I'll try and remember to put the link. I keep forgetting to do that, but she has started putting this quilt together. I have no idea what the name of this quilt is. There's all kinds of patches here that have already been put together. I guess you would call them squares, even though they're not square. And I'm not a quilter. This just frightens the heck out of me. But there's also a lot of little patches. There's a lot of these that are already put together. But there's also all these pieces here. And this is really old vintage fabric, because I'm not intending on finishing that as a quilt. I would like to actually tea dye some of this and use it on my bear. So I'm just going to pull out the pattern pieces. See, some of these are even joined. Look at. But I'm just going to pull out some of the, like this kind of thing. I'm just going to take some of these. I'm not going to take the ones that have a patch on them. I'm not going to take the darker ones because my bear is going to be mostly lighter colors. Like, look at this. Look at this one. Isn't this gorgeous? Can you imagine that tea-dyed? It actually has a little bit of a tea-dyed look to it already, but so I'm just going to pull some of these out, and I'm going to throw them in a vat of tea dye. Look at this purple one. And this is such a fine fabric. There's some repeats in here. Do I have that one yet? Nope. So I'm just going to do that. Ooh, lots of purple. So there's quite a few of those. I got one of those already. I don't have that one. I love this here one. This is beautiful. All of these are so pretty. So I'm just going to pull these out, and I'm going to throw them in a vat of tea dye. And I can still continue and work without having these on, but for sure these are going to get incorporated into my bear. And if you have stuff like this is perfect kind of thing to put on your bear. Little scraps of somebody else's fabric. It's wonderful. Here's some beautiful thin cottons. Oh, look at this one. Isn't that lovely? Yeah, so I'm just going to go through here and pull out some of these. And these are going to actually go into the bear along with my own fabrics. There's a pretty tiny little print. That'd be lovely tea-dyed. Actually, you could use the back too. And that's the other thing, you know, you can sometimes, if you don't, you know, if something like this is too bright, flip it over and use this side of it. There's ways of getting around these things. So I think I've got every one of these. I don't know if there's more. Yeah, there's more in here, but I'm not going to be too greedy. I think I've got enough for right now. I'm just going to throw these in my tea dye, and we'll see what we get. Yeah, so if you're interested in seeing what this quilt is all about. There is a video on this quilt, and there's all kinds of colors in here, fabrics. I don't know where she got all these fabrics from. She was quite the quilter. She did a lot of quilts. But I have enough for what I want right now, so I'm going to put this away, and I'm going to go throw this in some tea dye, and then I'm going to start. I do have fabric already picked out. These are the colors that I'm sort of going for, the muted colors, the tiny prints. All of this has been tea dyed. Things like this, pastel-y colors. You know, this was a new fabric that I bought, but I tea dyed it, and it just looks so gorgeous. So this is what I'm going to be doing my bear in, these kind of things. And these will fit in fine once they're tea dyed. I mean, this piece was very bright, and now it's not. This was very bright, and now it's not. So that's why I want to tea dye this. So I'm going to put this in the vat, and then we will start doing some collaging on our pieces. I think the first piece I'm going to work on is going to be this piece. It's a nice big piece to start with. So first of all, tea dye. Okay, I just use the cheapest tea bag, no name from wherever. I use 12 tea bags, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12. I'll put 2 more in for good luck. And I add my water, which is probably going to steam up the camera. This is hot water, boiled. I don't have a whole lot that I'm going to be dyeing, so that's enough. And I have soaked my fabrics in water just to wet them. They'll take up the dye better if they're wet, so I'm just going to plop them in here. I don't worry about letting this steep. I just throw it in, and I leave it for 24 hours. Oh, that one had quite a bit of pieces to it. I didn't realize. Oh boy, I can't even get them apart. There we go. I leave this for 24 hours, and then I will rinse them off, give them a little bit of soda water, and then I'll wash them with a little bit of ivory soap, and then I'll hang them to dry, or I might just set them outside because they'll dry really well. It's very hot right now again, and then they'll be ready to be used. So I have all these lovely little pieces from Great Grandma Effie. I actually have more here than I thought I had, but that's okay. It'll all get used. In the meantime, I have enough other fabrics that I can start on my bear, and I will. I just wanted to do this while I was thinking of it. So I don't know if you can hear that rumbling in the background. That is the fan for our air conditioner. We have a very kind of unusual situation here. We have boiler heat. So we have a boiler that has hot water heat in registers. Quite old-fashioned, but very efficient and very comfortable. And we have central air as well, which the unit is on the roof of the garage, and the fan that runs it is in a little cubby hole right off my studio here. So I get the noise when it comes on. It's quite loud in here, but I don't care. It's cool. That's all I care about, because it gets very warm up here. I have a couple of fans, but they don't even come close to helping. I found this when I was looking for stuff to put in olives, and I'm going to tea dye this too. And like there's one thing here says put basting stitch on top and bottom along broken line of striped piece, pull for gathering. I can use this. Totally I can use that. And then here's some more. I have more than I thought I did, you know that? I'm just separating them a bit. It doesn't matter if you put them right side up or right side down. They will all be submerged in the end. I love this piece right here. That is going to tea dye absolutely gorgeous. I know it is. And I love this piece. I love them all, actually. Somehow I have a green piece. And then I found a couple of other pieces. This was a blouse that I got at the charity shop down. It's not even a charity shop, it's a recycle. And I just love the fabric of it, so yeah, that's gonna go in there, and I have quite a bit of it, so I'm gonna do it all. All right, I gotta get something to push this down. I think a knitting needle would work. How's that for a knitting needle? Let me put this all down. I might need a little bit more water because I have more in here than I thought. Yep, might as well just use all the water that I have. And this will sit in here for till tomorrow this time, and then I will take it out and we'll have some nice aged fabric. How's that? Okay, I'm glad I remembered that. And just like that, the dyeing is done. Look at this. Just turned out beautiful. Remember this little piece here? I think this might have even been a piece of my great-grandfather's shirt. It's lovely. It's toned right down. All of these beautiful pieces have dyed so nicely. Look at this one. This is the one I really like. This turned out perfectly. This is really darkened up so nice. This is going to be so useful in so many different projects. I really am happy with this. And I have a few that I can show you the comparison. I love this piece. This turned out great. And look at this. This was so white, and now it's just a nice, soft, creamy color. But I have a few pieces that I had duplicates of, so I'll show you the difference. Remember that? Well, that's how it turned out. It's quite different. And this piece has now become that piece. Isn't that lovely? Actually, wouldn't it be nice to have a quilt done this way? In hearts. Ooh, there's an idea. This piece here, very pretty fabric, but a little bit too bright for my liking, and so now it's like that, which I like much better. I can bump you down a little bit here. There we go. That's better. Turns my hands a little weird, but you can see the difference. So don't be afraid to tea dye, because you're going to get some really lovely results. This was this very fine, see, that's blown out. That's more the right color. And now it's much more subtle. This one is very noticeable. There's the before and there's the after. Don't be afraid to tea dye. You get wonderful results. Remember this piece? I loved it so much. Well, I love it even more now. It's gorgeous. So there's my tea dyed results. And now I've got a little extra fabric to work with. I'm going to put all of this in with all of this. And now I can start my bear. So let's get going. Time to quit talking and to get going. So I'm going to start with the head gusset first. And I'm putting a little bit more thought into this bear than I did in the last one, because the last one, the colors were all chosen for me because I just cut it out on fabric. But this time I get to choose how I want it to be. And this part here is the nose, the top of the nose. Where's my bear? I don't know what I did with it. Hold on one second. This part here, this round part of your fabric, that's this part right here. So this is going to go out this way and all the way to the back. That's what this piece is. That's the gusset. So I want to have something flowery right here, right between the eyes. I've made that decision. And I think what I've found, oops, these things are falling. I might either do something like this here, or I have this piece here that I do kind of like that. I don't know. I do know I want to have some darker color here. Not really dark, but I want something flowery, something of course, as usual, I have way too much to choose from. Now that I would like. But I would rather have it a bigger piece of this. I want to cover this whole end here. I don't want to have to. I must have a larger piece somewhere. Oh, they're all strips. Okay, so what I could do, instead of doing it that way, maybe I'd have to put two pieces here. So a piece there, and maybe a piece there, and then I'm going to cut them, or I will, no, I don't like that. It'll have to be like this. So I'm going to put that there, and I'm just going to collage away here, and I might not say a whole lot, but I'm just going to place my fabric here and there. And we'll see what we come up with. And like I said, I'm being a little bit more mindful of what I'm doing this time around. I'm going to go right over the edge because I can cut that off. I like these colors. I really like these colors. So that is going to be the nose part. Now I can get on with that. I just wanted a little bit of color right here. Now I can go crazy if I want to. This little piece here was actually from some curtains that were my mom's. This is what I mean about the memory bear. Oh, look at this. Now, see? That just changed everything right there. That's what I'm going to do. That's how it goes with this. I'm just going to clean this up a little bit, though. This was sewn onto something. And like I said before, I do like having raw edge. Now I can put that. Oh, it's still not what I want. I want this. Put this and this. And maybe I'll do it this way. No, I'll do it this way. I'm not pinning anything. I'm just gonna fold. I had a piece here. Oh yeah, this. It does not want to rip. I actually think I have too much choice now. It's not always a good thing. Some of these colors I don't want. I know that for a fact. This also is a piece of my mom's fabric. I'm not sure, I can't remember what she was using it for, but I remember it was a piece of her fabric. No, that doesn't go. So, oh, yes, this does go. Now see, I could actually cut this and put this all the way through. Now there's a thought. I like this better. Okay, this might take a while. So I'm just going to play around with this off camera. And I will do something with this. I might do that, you know. I kind of do like that. You don't have to have your pieces all going the same way either. You can have them going every which way. And I will do that. But for right now, I'm just kind of trying. Yeah, I like that there. I don't want such a big piece though. This piece doesn't go. I'm actually going to go and press this piece out a little bit because it's so curled up. I'm missing a lot of the good stuff. You would not believe how long it's taken me to collage this one piece. What I've collaged is this piece here. And yes, I've gone over the edges. I don't care because I'm going to stitch it. First, I'm going to pin it down and then I'm going to stitch it. And then I'll turn it over and I'll cut the edges so that it's in proper shape. But this took me at least 20 minutes to collage this one piece. For me, this is the fun part, but it can also, you can overdo it too. But you have to sort of have in your mind what you want to do with the colors and things like that. Oops, sorry, don't mean to shake you. So I have my first piece collaged. I am going to stitch it down now. First I'm going to pin it and then I'm going to baste it and then I'm going to stitch it down and start doing my top stitching on top of it. So this is your first step if you're doing it this way. And to me, this is the most fun part. Good luck with your collaging. So you can see how totally different this is going to be from Olive's bear. Olive's bear is so bright and vibrant, and my bear is going to be very dull and subdued and old looking. I want it to be a memory bear. So for me, at my age, memory means having something that looks a little bit aged, because I'm aged. So I got my little pins here. Most of them are in another project or in several other projects, but I have this many. I'm going to pin this down. I'm going to baste it, and then I don't think I'm going to start stitching it yet. I've changed my mind. I think what I'm going to do is once I get this all pinned down and basted, I'll cut it to shape, and then I think I will collage the other two head pieces, these pieces here, because I sort of want to know that I'm on the same length with the head. I'm going to keep the head quite similar. I mean, I will add maybe a few other colors, but I want to coordinate the head. So I think before I start to actually stitch, because I haven't decided what colors of thread I'm going to use. If I'm going to go neutral with the thread, or if I'm going to do it in a pink, or if I'm going to do it multi-colored, I don't know. That I haven't decided yet. So I think what I might do after I get this basted on, I think I might just collage the two head pieces as well. And that way I can sort of work them together and figure out if they're, if it's what I want. And then I will stitch all of the head pieces, including the ears. I have to do those too, don't I? With the same colors of thread, whatever they may be. So I think I've given you enough to get you started. Good luck, and I will see you in about a week on this project. I've made up my mind that I think we will check in on this project once a week, and we'll see what kind of progress we get on. Bear in mind, I'm still working on a Santa and All Loves Bear, but once I had cut those pieces out, I knew I was going to start this, even though I said I wasn't. I am. So, happy bear making, and I will see you with this project in about a week. Thanks for watching, everybody. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and please leave me comments if you are enjoying this, or if you have any questions or suggestions, leave me a comment. I'd love to hear from you. Bye for now. I'm just doing my invisible basting or my tacking stitches on this Santa piece. And I just wanted to say that take your time with this part of your project when you're doing your bear, or the pieces for your bear. You've done all your collage, you've pinned it down, and now you're going to tack it down. Take your time with this. This part here is going to make your stitching so much more pleasant. If you've taken your time and just put as many tacking stitches in here to keep your fabrics in place, you're going to thank yourself later on, because you'll be able to pick your piece up and hold it in your hand and do your stitching, and you won't have to worry about anything moving. So what I'm doing here is the invisible baste, or that's what I've heard it called. My mom used to do this when she made her wedding dresses, and what it is you're putting your basting, but none of your basting stitches are on the top. They're all on the bottom. If you see the bottom of this piece here, I don't know if you can see it or not. I'll just see if I can pop you there. All the basting stitches are at the back. You hardly see anything at the front. So how you do this is so simple. Let me find my needle. You go in right where you came out. So if you pulled your thread up, here's where, right here's, I don't know if you can see this. Oh, I'm over too far. Here's where my thread came up here. I'm going to go in almost right on that spot, and then I'm going to take a nice long stitch underneath and pull it up. And so what it makes is a tiny little dot on the front, but it's all holding it on the back. So I'll do another one here. And I just zigzag all over the place. I don't really have a rhyme or a reason for which way I go, but I try and get a lot of the corners, and for sure get your ends down. Some pieces fray quite a bit, so if you've got some linens or fabric that frays a lot, you might want to add some extra tacking stitches in there just in case your piece frays on you. So this is a really important step, and I actually quite enjoy this. I know some people might get frustrated with it because they want to get on to the actual stitching of their, you know, top stitching or decorative stitching, but I find this quite enjoyable, quite relaxing, just to kind of work along here. And I've been at this coat here for probably an hour, and all I've done is I've stitched this part and over here, and that's all. So, you know, it does take time, but I think it's something that is going to improve your whole experience of slow stitch if you do this really well. And once you've taken enough stitches on a piece, you can remove your pins. I haven't done over here, so I'm not going to take my pins out yet. I'm just going up now. But take your pins out after you've put your pieces down. And I've done all this, so I don't have my pins in there anymore. And that too makes your job an awful lot easier. The other thing I find is I do it on a mat board like this. Like I've got it on one of my, I'm going to pop you down again. I have it on one of these, so you can get your thing in there. You're not catching anything below. It makes this kind of work a lot easier, and also you can just slide it around if you need to. So I'm just working my way through this Santa coat, and I'm loving how this is looking. I cannot wait to start stitching this, and I know exactly what I'm going to be doing. I'm going to try and get this color, this burgundy reddish color, and that's what I'm going to be top stitching all of this with. One color, I think, because it is for Santa, and I want this, ow, I'm going the wrong way, so I'm picking myself. I want this to really look old and beautiful. So I think I might do some in this dark cream and some in this beautiful reddish goldish color. So I just wanted to share this with you. This is something that is very important part of the process, and not hard to do at all, but it will take some time, especially if you're working on a big piece. Now for Olive's Bear, none of the pieces are all that large, so it shouldn't take you that long to do this, but still take your time and enjoy the moment. That's the thing about the slow stitch. It's not so much the stitching, it's the enjoyment of it. The process is what is supposed to be important. Of course, what you're making is important as well, but the process is the nice part. So I've stitched most of this down. I'm going to take this pin out. I don't need it in there anymore. And I'm stitching left-handed, which is kind of weird, but I kind of have gotten a little bit stronger using my left hand since I broke my right shoulder. Whoops, sorry. I have been, all the time when I couldn't use my right side, and that's my dominant side, I did switch to my left hand, and it doesn't bother me anymore really to kind of do both. So I'm going to continue on with this. I just wanted to show you this little clip and enjoy your basting.